Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. It is Wednesday, November 17th, 2021, and welcome to another amazing episode and edition of Dialogues with Doc. Listen, I'm your host, Dr. Calvin Green, and I am just so excited to be back in the seat once again this Wednesday to jump and dive into this great dialogue with you guys. I do want to start off tonight's show by apologizing. I do apologize for last week for missing, guys, but I did have a schedule conflict with work that I was unable to do the show last week. So I promise to make up for it on tonight. I have another amazing and awesome guest joining me about another amazing and awesome topic. And I'm just so excited to be back with you guys again on this week. Listen, I want to know, how has your week been going? How do you feel tonight? Where you watching from? All those good things. So if you're watching for the first time, welcome. If you're watching for the first time, welcome to Dialogues with Doc. We do this every Wednesday night, just about from about an hour of 8 to 9. We have just some amazing guests who join us. We jump into some great, amazing dialogue and conversation. And if you have questions, feel free to ask those as well as we progress throughout the show. And if you want to ask a question and allow my guests to answer. But of course, you guys know I got to start off the show like this. Where are you watching it from? Where are you tuning in from? Where are you supporting us from? If you're watching for the very first time, welcome. We are a family here. If you're watching again as a repeat offender, I thank you. I appreciate you for rocking with me each and every week. So thank you for just sitting in the seat with me each and every week and joining in with me and my amazing guests as we continue to create great content on the YouTube channel as well as the Facebook platform. So listen, I want to just say thank you. I hope all is going well with you. Again, if you're watching, let me know where you're watching from. Hope your week is going well. It's hump day. Yes, it's Wednesday. We are almost there. I don't know, whatever you have to do to muster up just a little bit more strength to push through Thursday, this Friday Eve, and then make it to Friday. I pray that strength and encouragement and wisdom comes your way as we continue to progress through the rest of this week. No, you are not alone. I feel the exact same way that you do as an educator. When you get to Wednesday, you're about ready for Friday to come into play and just give you that feeling of, I have a sigh of relief and I can breathe. So we're almost there. Happy hump day. We are pushing through this thing each and every week. Listen, you guys know as a family, we are back together again. You know the house rules. They're very simple. If you're watching, like the broadcast. If you're watching the show and want to say something, comment during the broadcast. And if you're on the YouTube channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Again, the house rules: like, comment, share, subscribe. It's that simple. I don't ask for much. I just want you to engage with me and my amazing guests as we continue to dive into this great content each and every week. So listen, as you guys know, my platform is really simple. It's for everybody. I like to have thoughts, concepts, and conversation and dialogues about any and everything. So tonight I wanted to do something special. I put some fillers out there to give me some more amazing guests to join me. And the response that I got has been amazing. But as I read through the people that reached out to me, which I will definitely get them on the show soon, I promise. But I wanted to start off with my very first guest from someone who reached out to me. Thanks, just out to Jaleesa. Thank you, Jaleesa, for making this connection. I wanted to go a different route. And when I say a different route, I wanted to come from a lens or an angle of something I've never experienced or been a part of. So it kind of takes me out of the equation and continues to create that great, amazing content. I have no backstory. I don't know anything about it. I know people that go through these type of things, but the Lord has not blessed me to go there yet. Hell, I got to get engaged first before I can get to this part. But yeah, Lord, if you hear me, hear my cry. I'm putting it out into the atmosphere. Somebody's watching the show in Zimbabwe right now that may need a green card. Now, let me stop. Yeah, but you know, if you want to holler at your boy, you're more than welcome to. Anybody out there, I appreciate it. I welcome it. But yeah, living this single life. My topic tonight is something I know nothing about. One thing I love about my platform is I may not have the answer or know something, but I'm connected to someone who does. So each and every week, I try to bring someone I'm connected to on to kind of provide more insight, more in-depth, behind the scenes, or more advice or how to best navigate the road that you're in right now to continue living your most abundant and your most blessed life. So tonight's show is going to be amazing because the topic, y'all, I am just as blue as because I haven't gone through this experience, but there are people of you that have, people out there that are watching that have. So my show tonight, I'm just at the party. I'm just here. I have an amazing guest joining me tonight. Listen, this lady here, I could not have her come on Dialogues with Doc and not bring her on the right way. There's a right way that we bring people on this show. I believe because of COVID, we have to give people their flowers while they can still smell them, or they'll still hear, to see them, to smell them, to maybe give them away if they ugly, because they don't really like the color they bought the bouquet in. But yeah, we're gonna give my guest tonight her flowers that she is due. I'm gonna bring her on Dialogues with Doc the right way. So let me set that up, and I'll be right back after these messages, guys. Shelly, how are you?
I am super awesome. How are you, Doc?
I am amazing. I am amazing. I couldn't have you come on and not bring you on the right way. You have to. I can do a round of applause with more than 10 people in the room right now. I would do it. But no, thank you so much. I want to give you your flowers while you can still smell them. I want to thank you for just being on the show tonight and just joining me and just letting us into your world. That's what this is all about tonight. You are an amazing, amazing, amazing individual who I have come to know very well over the last month, just from the connection and seeing your clips and things that you do. So no, what you do is needed. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to do this for me tonight, because I definitely want to allow you to come on and grace this virtual space with you, and just allow you to come on and share and encourage, and you may end up even pouring before we get off. The way the spirit flow, the way the spirit move, I may just let you do your thing. But no, thank you so much for joining me on tonight. I am so excited. You are another amazing individual that I'm not connected to, so I'm thankful for connections and energy. Like personally, most people I'm connected to, but people know energies and people know power. So I feel like when they make connections, it's very intentional, and you never don't understand why. You never understand the rationale behind it. But when it's all done, it's done in the right way, in the right format. It's going to be bomb. It's going to explode, and people are going to be empowered by the connection that we have on tonight. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm super excited.
How are you on this? I'm going to start off surface right now. How are you this evening?
I am so good. Can I just say how blessed I am? First of all, let me thank you. I know you're giving me flowers. Let me give you some. So when you have your own show, people, you never give yourself flowers. Like, you need to receive it as well. So I just want to thank you. I've been watching you and saying, "Oh my gosh, like if God would just only bless me with being on his show." And look at how God showed up and showed off. So thank you so
Wow.
much. Thank you for what you do. And I don't know if you know how much what you do impacts the world, but I need to let you know what you are doing is impacting the world. So I pray and hope that you receive that tonight. So thank you so much for all that you do.
I totally receive it, and thank you. I needed that. I'm an educator by profession, and today was one of those days. But I'm here.
Amen.
So no, thank you. So thank you. I'm gonna start out here, and let's just go. Tell us a little bit about who you are. I want to
Yeah.
start off very, very, very from the beginning ish. Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Yeah. So Shelly Shelton, let's see. I am an author, motivational speaker. Divorce recovery is my thing. So for those that haven't looked me up online or haven't seen me, if you go to YouTube, I'll share this real quick. If you go to YouTube and type in motivational speaker divorce recovery, you will find me. Motivational speaker divorce recovery, Shelly Shelton. And I got my start in doing what I do just through telling my story.
Mhm.
I had no idea, Doc, that this would happen. I'll tell you, I was someone that was a little hesitant with telling my story of divorce. I felt ashamed. I felt misunderstood. I felt guilt. I felt blame, and all of a sudden, like, that led me into doing this, into divorce recovery. But I have been a business owner now since 2016, and
Wow.
it all was birthed from a place of pain. So when I say that God is good, I can't even begin to tell you how good he is. One more thing, you said, who is Shelly Shelton? Shelly Shelton used to be blind and unable to walk.
Mm.
And when you look at me today, and as I'm listening to you bless me with flowers, um, I remember a day when I couldn't even fathom seeing flowers.
Wow.
And I'm just so thankful. I'm just an incredibly thankful woman that is always present in the moment and always just wanting and desiring to bless people. So that's who Shelly Shelton is.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now, Shelly, where are you based out of?
I'm in Chester, Virginia.
Are you serious?
I am.
Okay, I'm through. Oh, look, I don't, you done messed me up on my English. I done threw out a whole line of my normal show jargon. If you're let me know where you're watching from in the chat. I'm normally holding down the whole DM the V, but
Woo!
tonight I got some backup
There
with
you
me
go.
tonight. So the DMV is in here tonight.
That's
If you're around us some kind of way, let me know where you're watching from. I know my mom's probably watching in Texas, but yeah, I'm normally holding down this seat for the DMV by myself. So thank you for jumping in here with me on
absolutely.
tonight for real. Okay, now get back on script green. Okay, so um, you have this. I'm shifting over here. I have questions, but I don't want to give. I determine them on the flow and how thing goes. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna stay in that vein of people out here are starting businesses, especially during the pandemic,
Yeah.
all different types of businesses. But this, I got to go back to this divorce recovery thing. Um, how did you find that as your lane? As a when you're thinking out what I want my business to be about, or how I want my business to impact people, you took something that made you cry
Yes.
and change the total trajectory of it. How did you figure out, okay, God, this is what I'm called to do. God, this is my lane. I knocked my head a couple times, not believe that's what you were saying, God, but this really is it.
Yeah, I didn't go looking for it. So let me say that I did not go looking for it, y'all. I didn't want to talk about divorce. I didn't want to talk about the pain. I didn't want to talk about the agony. Believe me, it found me. I didn't go looking for it.
Wow.
When I went through divorce, it was an extremely painful process. I tell people all the time, what I do is I help those that are separated and divorced bounce back and learn how to love life again. Because in
Mm-hmm.
essence, that's what you have to do. Your life completely changes. My whole self-esteem was under the ground because my ex-husband, he left me. And so I
Wow.
went through a major um just a tough time. I'll say it like that. It was a tough time, but I didn't go looking for it. So
Mhm.
sometimes you'll be amazed at what happens with your life where a situation that is extremely painful is turned around and there births a whole business. I had no idea, no idea. I originally started this whole thing, Doc, with actually teaching people how to speak. I was a motivational speaker. I was inspiring people. I started working with Eric Thomas, number one motivational speaker in the world. I started working with him, and everybody kept saying, "Well, what's your story?" And I was like, "Dog it! Like I don't want to talk about divorce. Like I feel like that's my story." Like, "What's your story, Shelly Shelton?" I was like, "Well, I'm in the process of going through divorce and blah blah blah." And then I talked about me being blind, and they were like, "Yeah, that's good, but we need to hear about how did you bounce back." And then once
Right.
I explained my story, it was on. I know you probably have heard people say your gift will make room for you.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, my gift made some major room. Um,
Listen,
I'm telling you.
it was like what's the it was like Peebo Bryce in a whole new world. You had no idea that there
No
was a
idea.
whole new world out there of people for you to find. You're already in a lane doing this one, and God said, "Okay, veer off to the left, but I'm gonna have you in the left, and then the one you just got out at the same time,
Yeah.
consistently." No, that is like that's just it's just like God. Like you have no idea. Grandmother always told me if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Like you just never have no idea, any idea of how life is going to allow us to navigate, and you find this lane of divorce recovery, and it was birthed out of a place of pain.
Pain.
A place of pain that has now become a place of abundance, because there are so many people
Absolutely.
out there who have been impacted by what you've gone through, and it's inspired them to the point where I can, if Shelly survived, I can survive too. This is another thing that I'm about energy. You said something and it clicked back to me of the part about what's your story. I just told a staff member in my building recently, oh, that kid is bad. Oh, that kid, this kid, I'm in a high school, so it's all the way live up until 5. And I said, you have to get to know these kids. It's not just about connecting with them. What's their story? He may act out because of XYZ, but what's his story, which gives us the rationale to kind of determine what some of these behaviors are. So this what's your story thing, I literally just told a staff member of mine that's in my school, like, we got to find out what each of these kids' story is to help us understand them a little bit better. Because just like with you, this place of pain, where they're lashing out, it can end up being a place of abundance for us on the back end when he graduates in 4 years and changes from the way he came in and exits the door. Like, they're just different little things that I look for. So know that what's your story piece. We good. We good over here, Shelly. Me and you, we see each other.
That's right.
So let me see. Where am I going to go? This is what happened on the back end of life, but on the front end, how did you navigate relationships early on when you got into this whole dating thing, as you were going through as my grandmother said, the courting phase before you married your ex-husband? How did you navigate relationships in general, whether they were with your husband or with your friends or within your family? I promise you, this is not a therapy session. I'm asking these questions. This is for me. Make sure I'm not the only one. So if you're watching, I'm learning from Shelly tonight, because she's the expert, and I'm just a student in the classroom with my little notepad and my pen taking notes. Yes.
That's a tough question, because you're asking how did I navigate relationships before the one that I failed. Like, I tell people all the time, I had never ever been fired from a job before, but I felt like I was fired from the job of being a wife. I was fired from that job is what I felt like when that was done. I felt like I didn't know how to navigate relationships. I'm telling you, like, all sorts of stuff pop into your head as you're going through some sort of pain and trauma. Prior to that, I'll explain to you, I was a quiet person beforehand. I was very quiet. I stayed to myself. I tell people all the time, I was a little nerd, and I stayed into books. I was so focused. You hear people talk about where your focus goes, your energy flows. And I was so incredibly focused. And so I was focused on being successful and moving forward. And so when it came to relationships prior to that one, I'll be honest with you, I had no experience with relationships. I wasn't good at it prior to this. And this is how good God is. And so prior to the whole divorce situation, I had only been in one relationship prior to meeting my ex-husband, and was with him for 21 years. So half of my life was with one man. And so when I actually learned how to navigate properly relationships was when I was completely out of one. So when the marriage was over, when the separation and divorce was entering my life, was when I learned how to, the importance of navigating a relationship. Most people, you go through the process. You have no idea what you're doing. You're just kind of going through the flow. You hear people talk about communication is so important, but you truly, unless you learn how to properly communicate with people, you won't have a great relationship. I'm just going to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
You have got to master communication, and you have got to be okay with being open and vulnerable. And so, and if you are not, you're setting yourself up for failure. Real talk. If you are not open to being vulnerable and being open to complete honesty and communication, your relationship is slim to none, not going to be successful. Okay. Most marriages end because of lack of communication. That's it. Most marriages end because of lack of communication. Either they don't want to talk, you're uncomfortable talking, or there's something that's they're saying to you, I don't trust this person enough to tell them whatever. So communication is so important. So you've got to nail that down first. So Any relationship, whether it's with your parents, your sisters, your siblings, your brothers, whoever, master communication. I promise you, once you master that, you don't have to worry about relationships. Master it. And then,
Now, now, Shelly, I promise you, I'm not over here. Look, for y'all watching over here, probably trying to be nosy, make sure something off. Ain't nothing wrong over here, Shelly. I promise you, I'm not being. I always say show notes, so I got over here. Focus, flows, energy goes, navigate. I'm over here taking notes, y'all, because this is good. So if you see my head go down, I'm writing.
okay.
uh, the the master in vulnerability, honesty, and communication. This is, as I'm working with teenagers, some of them have mastered the vulnerability part, but I need them to make sure understand that they become last. Like honesty and communication is what I need y'all to work on right now in this building, because I got too many fights trying to break out because of you being vulnerable. But I need you to focus on the honesty and the communications. Like these are like three key things that I guess for me growing up, I saw people in relationships value those.
Yeah.
And over the years, in the world we live in today, unfortunately, it's only a small microcosm of people that still live by those rules that we saw our parents and our grandparents and our grandparents' parents live by in any kind of relationship, whether it was platonic, whether it was very intimate as a marriage. You know, we're always people watching to see how people's relationships and how they communicate. Because you know, if she raised her voice at him, you pull out your phone because it might be on World Star or Shade Room. No, I'm just we ask her how people communicate. Like, when we people watch, we look at everything. I know I do, and it's just a part of who I am to keep myself aware of my surroundings and just to kind of maybe give me a free lesson in communication or honesty if I'm just happen to be around something like that. So, no, the fact that you're able to not make it so big. People always try to make why marriages don't work so big and convoluted and blurry when it's really key things. Vulnerability, honesty, and communication is not over your head where anybody can't get it. So I love how you said that. You come from I said earlier, a place of pain that became a place of abundance. And I really am interested to know, how has your faith not wavered in the midst of doing all of that? I want to just take a break from the heavy stuff, the real heavy stuff, and just kind of go in this vein for a second of, how do you stay grounded? How has your faith become even more impactful? And I know it's taken me a lot of faith to get to this point. Now I'm possibly mentally drained from what I just went through. I have to go in 3 more days and speak somewhere else and pray for replenishment and refillment to be able to give that same that same energy, that same gust, and that same chutzpah to the same different group of people about the exact same thing. How's your faith played a part in all of that?
Oh, my faith has played a major part in all of this. In fact, I talk about the support system and having yourselves around people of faith. Like, if you're going to speak about faith, you've got to be a faith walker and a faith talker. And as you speak it and live it, you are the magnet that attracts the same people. And so my whole squad of women are just women that are so incredibly vulnerable. They're great communicators. That exactly those things that I was talking about with relationships. And we all believe in being non-judgmental, because we all go through stuff. We all got our own mess. There is none of us that are perfect. And so you have to be able to have that type of support system. So as I was going through the pain, my faith life was getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And so each and every day, I start my day with that. I start my day with prayer. I start my day with meditation. I have my own prayer group. I call them the Lady Lions. I started it 6 years ago, and we meet every single day besides Saturday and Sunday. And if you don't have some sort of faith, I'll be honest with you, I don't know how people get through life without faith. I don't. I'm trying. I can't even figure it out. I can't figure it out. I don't know how you get through in life without having faith. And it has taken me to a whole new level. The trajectory of my life. I'll tell you, when I went through the pain of divorce, I couldn't even recognize myself. When people say you got to go and find yourself, that's real talk. Okay. I want people to understand that is real talk. When a marriage completely is annihilated, that's a word that I want to use, annihilated. When it completely falls apart, you realize that during that marriage, you sacrificed, you
Mhm.
compromised, you did stuff that you would normally do to help satisfy someone else. And so when that someone else is gone, you've got to check yourself and say, who am I now? Who
Mhm.
am I now? Who is this person that's in the mirror now? And if you were like me in a long term relationship, you really have to take a step back and say, okay, who am I now? And as you develop your faith life, your faith walk, and you talk your faith, like really have some conversations with God every single day, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you begin to develop an understanding about who you are. And so I have been completely grounded, always grounded. God keeps me centered. And I don't know how people walk around and not have faith. I don't know how you
Faithless.
even move around without having some sort of faith. So just a mustard seed, I'm telling you, goes a long way.
Listen, just give me just don't. I got a mustard seed in this room on the
Yeah,
wall right
you
now.
know.
Literally, like it's the simple stuff for me. Like it's if you just have that much,
That's
and
right.
it's hard being faithless. In my opinion, living in a world like this, you got to have faith in something because the way this world is just, I need to be rooted and grounded. I need to allow my faith to not waver, but continue to be watered and grow into this. This power, this unexplainable power and that you get about you when you're grounded
Absolutely.
in that vein and it continues to grow is just so. Let me stay here.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I'm about to.
And in fact, all my books are about faith. I was sharing with
Mhm,
you that I'm an author. I have 4 books. All of them are faith focused,
mhm.
especially the last one, Are You There, God Is Me, Chandler. Um,
Oh, okay, so let's go
okay,
here.
let's go.
Because so tell me about Chandler. Chandler is what drew. Well, initially the question was this: from the work you've done thus far, how have you learned about the effect of divorce on children? So since we're there, let's talk about Chandler.
Let's talk about
Uh,
you.
Chandler
Chandler is
is
on
the
my
champ.
shirt. Yeah.
That is. This is when I first got to your page and saw. I'm like, this right here by itself is just because Chandler could have been Calvin. That's me. That's my first. Like Chandler could have been any
Mhm.
young boy, any young black or brown boy growing up, and then. So I'm gonna stop there and let you tell us about Chandler.
Yeah, let me tell you about Chandler. Chandler is the child that I always wanted to have. I have no kids, y'all, none.
Wow.
Chandler is my book baby. I always dreamed of having a son. Always dreamed of having a son. So my ex and I, we didn't have any kids, but we used to go around our house and speak him into existence. Like that's how bad we wanted to have a child at the time. And so we knew we wanted to have a son. And even when the marriage was done and over with, I still wanted to have a son. And so
Mhm.
as I was in prayer about still having this child, I never knew that God was going to birth him in a series of books. And so he
See.
birthed him in a series of books. And I'm telling you, he is I got the little book here with me, y'all.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's called Are You There, God? It's Me, Chandler. And he is an 11-year-old African American boy that is so extremely positive. And he carries around with him this prayer blanket. This is why I talk about all my books about faith. He carries around this little prayer blanket that blesses the world. He teaches kids about kid entrepreneurship. He teaches you about being vulnerable, about not bullying people. He teaches you about, how to be a friend, to another boy. Like he teaches you so much. He goes on all these different adventures and just touches the world. And I have a major, major vision for what's going to happen with a series of all these books. So I am in prayer. I'm just going to say it out here on live on your show. I am in prayer that what happens with Chandler and all his series of adventures, that someone like Tyler Perry says, you know what? I love how this little positive brown boy is impacting the world, and I want to put him up on a movie screen. And so
Yes.
I want him to be a cartoon. And that's the big vision. And I tell people all the time, if you ain't dreaming big, if your dream's not scaring you, then you need to sit down because I'm going to continue to dream big, big. When,
Listen.
you know what I'm saying?
But while you right there, let me put a pause right there for a second because when
uh,
she's putting it out there, I'm gonna put the addendum on it. And Tyler Perry, in 3 years, when you make Chandler about 35 years old, I'm gonna be cast as the lifetime version of Chandler in the movie. Okay, now go now back to you, Shelly.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yes, so Chandler is he's the baby. He's a child that I always dreamed of having, y'all. And his the first book that I brought into the world is called The Adventures of Chandler and the Traveling Prayer Shawl. His mom, who is me, of course, called it a prayer shawl. Chandler calls it a blanket, a prayer blanket. But but I tell you, he when he it first starts off with him being in the hospital. He's 3 years old, and his dad takes him to the nursery, and he breaks out like he's breaking out of jail. So he would go into different patients' rooms, and he would hold their hands. So patients that had cancer, multiple sclerosis, arthritis, all these types of ailments, and he would just hold their hands, and they would just talk to him, and he became known as Chandler the Angel. And so he started walking around the hospitals, and the doctors would give him a little stethoscope and a little white jacket. And so he started doing his thing, and he's just an incredible young positive boy, and we need those types of role models for our young brown babies around the world.
That's
So
it.
so that's who Chandler is. He's my baby, Chandler J. Shelton. That's how I named him, Chandler Jalen Shelton. So that's my book baby.
No, when I first saw the illustration of it, I'm like the illustration before even the words, Chandler, God, are you there? I was just so like I felt the I'm like
Mhm.
this could have been me, like this could have been my life. This guy, anybody could, any young black or brown boy could have been Chandler, but
Yes.
I'm a visual person, so it's like even when I go shopping at the mall, it's bad, but it's good. I go in the mall or the store, and if the color jumps out at me, I'm interested. I could walk in the Zara store right now and just stand there for a second, and I'm walking. I don't feel a connection. It's something that it just jumps out at you. That's just
Mhm.
what the illustration of him in this on his knees, and I'm just like, yo, this
Yeah.
is like we didn't have it. All we had when I was growing up was the Scholastic bookstore. You go
There you
with your little $5 that your
go.
mama gave
Mhm.
you out of her little money for the week check, and get your little Clifford the Big Red Dog book, and that was it. This is what I remember. Now Clifford on the big screen, like Chandler gonna be in 2 years.
That's right.
It's one of those things where it's just like that we didn't have those types of artifacts for us to read. We see a lot more of them now, more faith based cartoons with a more faith based illustration manuals, things like that for kids that are younger. But we didn't have that growing up. So
Nope.
being in the church and seeing that now, I would be like so excited, like, Mama, I need this book, and of course my mom would buy it because it was a book for me to read, and it had a I want to use the right word, a faith based attachment to it, to make it even more impactful and realistic for me as a child. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, Chandler is dope. Like I would like want to meet him like one day if he was a real person. I would want to meet your son. We probably would be running buddies too. Like, just to be honest, we probably would be. Uh, but yeah, like it's just crazy how God gave you this thought, this
Yeah.
faith, this faith, and it watered and it grew to this actual. All it takes for your faith is a thought. You thought
That's
this
right.
thing up, and now you have Chandler in front of you, increasing the relevance of having faith as a child for that child in church that may be watching as well. We didn't have those types of illustrations, so no, I love it. I love it. I love it. And
Yes. Yes.
that's what it is. Like, yeah. Okay, let
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So is Chandler in all four of the books, or just the first one?
Chandler's in the last three. So the first
Last three,
book,
gotcha,
yeah, the first book is Smile, the How-To Guide to Get Through Any Storm. And
gotcha.
that's the book that really helps you the parent with divorce. And then, the last book, this one I was sharing with you, Are You There, God Is Me, Chandler, it also focuses on divorce and how divorce impacts children, because we're always focused on how divorce impacts mom and dad. But sometimes what we forget is, hey, your child, your children, they too are impacted by what's going
Yeah.
on with divorce. Your whole family dynamics has changed. And so this book also helps with how the child gets through this process too. And what strategies are there for the child to say, hey, I need to be a vital part of this whole story, what's happening with our family. So it definitely helps kids to get through it through divorce too.
I love it. It's one of those things where I'm about to date myself. When you grew up in Sunday school, and at the very end of the Sunday school lesson, it says applying the lesson to life. This is like an applying the lesson to
Mhm.
life for a kid in the primary class or the intermediate class. You know, when I was growing up,
Mhm.
as primary, intermediate, senior. For that, you know, those kids who may not know how to deal with, but they get a book that has someone like Chandler in it that's going through the exact same thing that I'm going through, and I'm able to make the connection and be encouraged and be empowered a little bit more to do some more great things. You went there too, so I'm gonna go with
Where we going?
Smile. But that's Chandler for the people with the children, the
Mhm.
babies, and Chandler can be a young lady's name too. So don't even try
That's
to
right.
not buy the book because you don't have a daughter. Chandler can be a male or a female
That's
that
right.
has a press trial. We get these books sold. Now let's go for the adults. Let's go to Smile. Let's talk about Smile for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, so Smile, it's called Smile, the How-To Guide to Get Through Any Storm. So not only divorce, but it really hits divorce hard, but not only divorce, but if you're going through a financial storm, if you're going through some issues at home, if you're dealing with family issues, if you're dealing with mental health is a big thing right now.
Yes.
Okay. And so if you're going through some mental health issues, if you're going through anything that you define as a storm, as a life storm, this book gives you the formula to get through. I share with everyone, I used to be blind and unable to walk due to multiple sclerosis. And that was a major, major storm. I went through depression. I went through major anxiety. I went through panic attacks. I went through feeling of self doubt. I went through low self esteem. I went through feeling unworthy, feeling that I wasn't good enough, that, all of those things. And in essence, God had me place this major formula for success to get through it all. And yes, it does include having some sort of faith. So I told you, every last one of my books, if are about faith, like there is a component of faith, of spirit filled faith up in this.
Mhm.
So, and so, yeah, so that's what Smile, the How To Guide is, the How To Guide to get through any storm. And it's powerful. I want to invite any and everyone to pick it up. It's on Amazon, it's on my website. Pick it up because it will bless your life, especially if you have gone through some storms. And I'll be honest, I don't know anybody that hasn't gone through one.
Listen,
If
that
you're
part.
living, you've been through something. So you definitely need something to say, okay, let me figure this out. How do I get through this? And I got the formula to help you get through it.
I love it. I love it. Smile, smile, smile. Going in another vein now. In the midst of all you're doing, you're
Mhm.
still attached to women's empowerment from not just a divorce lens, but just a bunch of different lenses. Now, entrepreneur, woman, Chandler, your mother. Like you now have other ways you can empower and impact women as well. So I want to talk about women's empowerment, and then I want to ask you about this lady whose name keeps coming up, named Linda.
Ah,
See, I do my homework now.
you did your
I do
homework.
what I do.
Yes,
So
you
let's talk.
definitely did your homework. Yeah, if
let,
anyone, I don't even know. I need to look. I need to go to YouTube or look at hashtag Linda and see if I pop up. Um, Linda is a powerful name, and as I was going through divorce, and my story is on YouTube, so I want to invite everybody to go to my YouTube, subscribe, and you see a bunch of stuff. So look up Shelly Shelton. But I have my story out there, and I talk about my story involving Linda. When I was going through divorce, I had gone through so many other storms, and my ex had walked out. I was feeling just beneath the ground. I was so tore up. I tell you, you hear people say tore up from the flow up. Oh, that was me.
Mhm.
I couldn't even recognize myself. And as I was going through that, I realized I did not have a support system. And this is for somebody listening. There's so many of us that keep to ourselves and we don't feel like we can trust anybody. And so I
Mhm.
stayed to myself. And the only person I had was just my ex, just my husband at the time. And I went through the storm. And as I was going through the storm, I said, okay, God, I'm done. I'm done with these storms. I'm done with all this. And I was at my breaking point. And there's some people you know what I'm talking about. You feel like you're at your breaking point, but I want to tell you, do not give up. All right,
Mhm.
do not give up. And in that moment, I was almost there. I was almost there. I was like right at the edge of the cliff. I was almost there, and I said, God, I'm done. And then I heard God tell me that I'm not done with you yet. And in
Wow.
that moment, he said, look, I'm going to bring some Lindas into your life. And I didn't understand what it was talking about. And so, in essence, as I'm listening to him deposit all this information into me, I'm looking down to exactly what he was telling me to do and all these things. And I looked at the paper, and it right down on the paper, it's spelled Linda. It's spelled out Linda. And I was like, okay. And so as I'm looking at this, it was spelling out to me the type of people, the type of women that I needed to have in my life that will support me and be there for me as I'm going through this crap. And it was so exhilarating. It was so phenomenal. And so, in essence, he taught me how to first be a Linda. And a Linda, by the
Mhm.
way, let me explain what a Linda is. A Linda is someone that is led by the Holy Spirit. She's someone
Mhm.
that has an I give mentality, meaning she's not selfish. She's going to give of her time. She's going to give of her money. She's just an incredibly caring and giving person, an I give mentality. She's someone that says that negativity is her kryptonite, meaning
Mhm.
anyone that comes into her contact, into her presence, if you're negative, if you gossip, if you got a whole bunch of mess going on, you're not even going to be attracted to her. You're going to walk away. You're not going to be in her life. And that was me. And so, and then D is death do us part, meaning you're gonna be a ride or die chick. Okay, you're gonna be
Mhm.
there for her. You're not even going to separate from her. Whenever she needs you, you will be there. Death do us part. Nothing will separate you besides death. The A is accountability. So this is somebody that's going to check you when you need to be checked, and is going to always be there and hold you accountable to go after every single goal that you have. And so God formed me as being a Linda, and I started attracting these women to me. And in
Mhm.
essence, as I became that magnet to attract Lindas, I began to teach people, teach women, and even teach men. Like you don't even have to be a woman to understand this. It's actually the form of just teaching you the types of characteristics that you need to have to bring this magnet towards you and bring this realm of people towards you that are extremely positive, giving, and that's always going to have your back.
Mhm.
And so in essence, that's exactly what a Linda is. But even though I've said that acronym, sometimes people will think, "Oh, that's me." No, 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 no. You've got to go through a process first. So let you know,
Mhm.
you go through a process first to get to that point,
Yeah.
and then all of this is created, and it is so beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But
Mhm.
that's a Linda. And
I love
so,
it. It's like I love how you said some people think no, nope, slow down. You're not there
uh-huh,
yet. You got
ain't there yet.
you got a little bit more to go. This is you're not Linda yet. And
That's
and
right.
y'all, she said Linda, not Belinda. She's
That's
not
right.
Glinda. She said
That's right.
Linda. One thing about the word of God gives people is very specific.
That's
Linda,
right.
not Belinda or Glinda. Linda. No shortcuts. No, I know. I love how you God gave life to something that was conceived of some thoughts, and it
Yeah.
became Linda. Like these are just the things that I God, these are the things that I need to keep me in the right headspace and hold me accountable.
Mhm.
And it just so happens that it has become the same marching orders for so many other women looking to find out who their Linda is. And like she's saying,
Yeah.
Shelly's saying, everyone should have a Linda, and that accountability piece is huge because everyone wants an accountability partner, but I love how the G, the L, the I, the N, and the D all encompass around the A of accountability. That it's not just about accountability. There's other things that help lift it up to keep us accountable to to doing what we said we're going to do. So yeah, the accountability piece, when you said, I'm like, yeah, that's good, but that's where we struggle. So we got to have the other letters in Linda surrounding us to help lift us up. And I love how it's relatable, it's realistic, and everybody knows a Linda.
That's right.
I love how you did the video. You said if your name is Linda, was either keep standing or sit down. I'm like, everyone just moving. You're like, yeah, she's not here. Let me tell you about who she is. No, I love
right.
how you and we need real life enactments or real life examples of what we need to help continue to push us, to hold us accountable, to challenge us. So I love how you've taken this has become your saving grace in a sense, because you're saving lives by just doing what it is that God has called you to do. So how have people shared with you that you blessed them by just being so transparent?
Yeah, every day I am blessed with so many messages on YouTube of people telling me how my story has blessed their lives. Um, my clients with divorce recovery, it's been a blessing. I will say this, like the very first thing with my business didn't necessarily start with divorce recovery like that. It actually started with accountability. um, I've always been very, very good at holding people accountable. And so for going after their dreams. And so my coach said, do you realize, first of all, that you are unstoppable? That anytime you can be blind, unable to walk, your ex leaves after 21 years, and you're about to take life into another whole level, and you're still standing. Do you understand that you are unstoppable? And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. And so I started Unstoppable University, and I started holding people accountable, Doc, for going after every single dream
Yeah.
that they buried. I buried my dreams when I was married because I was so focused on making a marriage work and making and helping to be and trying to be that helpmate. I was trying to be the perfect wife, the best wife, the wife of the century. And then when that failed, life changed. And so I started Unstoppable University. Now, after I started Unstoppable University, empowering women, um, I had women coming to my home and I was coaching them. And they said, well, do you realize that when I come to your space, like it's so comfortable? Can you teach me how to decorate? And I was like, yeah, I can do that. And so I started Shelton Home Stage and Interior Decorating because people loved my space when they came into it. So I started another business. And then people started saying, well, I want to learn how to speak. Can you teach me how to speak? And I'm like, all right, yep, I can do that. And so I started the Aspiring Speakers Academy. So but see, what you got to remember, it all started from a place of pain. I didn't know any of this. It started from a place of pain. And so I started developing these new businesses just because people said, oh, can you teach me how to do that? Can you teach me how to do that? I didn't even know that I had these gifts, y'all, until somebody said so, but it all was birthed out of a place of pain. After that, people said, well, what do you do for a living? I said, well, actually, I am a talent acquisition manager. I've been staffing businesses around the world, making companies billions of dollars forever. Like, oh, well, can you teach me how to staff my business? Absolutely. I can go wherever you want me to go. So then I started TLC Recruiting Academy. So this is what I'm talking about. When your gift makes room for you. So I always want to tell people, Doc, do not give up on your dreams. If I can be this little chick, I'm actually from this little place called Goochland, Virginia. If this little chick from Goochland, Virginia, that used to be blind and unable to walk and been through some crap, and if I can do this, so can you. God is no respecter of persons. If I can do this, you can do this. So it's all birthed from a place of pain. Yeah.
And that's what we have to, as a community, I always tell even my students, you have to be able to take that most impactful thing or that most impactful area of pain and use that for a different for a brighter beginning, or I tell my students all the time, a new thought of something else that you can accomplish. Because we get so caught up in the pain at the moment, and we put so much focus on it that there can be a bright side on the other side of it. So I love how and you just get to realize I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Like you said, all these gifts that I've had innately that I wasn't even aware of because I was in such a place of pain have now been birthed out, and it's like, wow, I really do a lot of things, and it's just something coming from some, like you said, for you, someone saying, well, do you know how to do so and so? Do you know how to do so and so? And you're like me in that regard. Well, I may not know, but I might be able to figure this thing out, and it become an area of expertise for me. It just seems to happen that way for the people that just have it. So no, thank you for sharing and having it to go in so many different directions where you can just continue to even impact more and more people. Because my lane is this, but once you hear about my story from this lens, it pulls in a whole other area of interest from people that you may not have thought of. So that it's like this place of pain is able to just spread and be impactful amongst so many different people because of the things I'm connected to. So I love how you have that just happening, and it continues to happen. I am a little concerned. A little bit concerned. A little bit concerned from a different lens, because it's all this great divorce recovery stuff happening for the ladies, but I'm concerned because when is the divorce recovery culture coming for the brothers on the other side? Somebody texts me and says, hey, she can't forget about us over here, because we may learning over this side may help us connect better.
Oh, believe me, I don't. In fact, it's so interesting that you said that. I have lots of clients that are men, and so I want to make sure that we talk about that, because I'm constantly having guys contact me and say, Shelly Shelton, look, we as men, we do not have an outlet to talk to. We constantly have to hear, man, just man up. Like if somebody leaves our life, we've got to hear, just man up. He said, well, we get emotional too. We go through the mental drama too. But people think we're just supposed to man up and hide our feelings. And so they will always say to me, like, look, can you help us as well? Absolutely. Absolutely. Great number of my clients are men. So even though you see sometimes my videos are talking to women, and that's because women are the ones that are extremely vulnerable and contact me. I have a lot of clients that are men. Absolutely.
See. I just had to have a confirmed. There's a whole other university over here.
Absolutely.
That she's working with as well. So I kind of knew that, but I was like, let me just ask, because my brother's like, what am I like? I need some divorce recovery coaching as well to help me understand. For if God gives me another opportunity to get it right, I now understand it's a little bit better. So brothers, I got your text message and we'll be good. I asked the question, so keep in contact with her. She just confirmed she works with us as well. So yes. I love how you talked about Unstoppable University. Like it's not going to be a cakewalk. There's levels to getting to the point where I am. So I love how you just market it and package it like Unstoppable University. There are steps to this, and it's not just a pay you $50 and in 3 weeks you're certified to be able to have. No, it takes a while to get there. So I love how you have the university component attached to it, because it can never, even at I'm 40 years old, it can be, I'm going to class, I got a lesson on something else at university, because you become unstoppable in whatever area it is. So 20 years from now, if I'm saying I need some divorce recovery, I got to go to Unstoppable University, found the president and CEO, Shelly, and say, remember back when you were on dialogue with Doc, and we need some help over here. No, I love it. I want to go here because we pretty much have jumped around tonight. I mean, and it's a good thing, because it's like I tried to have my lineup with how I want to go, but we were just picking and going, and it just got so good. So next week I'm gonna be back on. It's just when you have a connection with somebody, it just Like
It
you
just
saw me
gels.
put a channel, and I was going to channel, and we vibing. It just happens like this. I love that. I want to go here though before I let you out of here. What's next for you? This is listen. So she only gave y'all just a snippet, and she's gonna tell y'all what's coming, what she's working on, all that kind of stuff, and how you keep in contact with her. She may be able to say something if she's not bounded by contract. I don't know, I'm just speaking it. Since something she can't talk about, she may be able to tell us for first time here tonight or when she comes back, whenever she wants to come back. But we want to know just know how we can keep in contact with you. What do you have going on? What's next? Because there are just so many different veins that this is going in. You probably end up having a divorce recovery subgroup for mechanics. I mean, I'm just saying, like this just because of the connection. You just never know how this is gonna play out. But you told us a little bit about tonight about what you're working on. But I still got a whole chart over here, some other stuff I didn't let you talk about, as far as what you have going on. So yeah, how can they keep up with you? What's going on with you? And just give it to them.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a few ways that you can keep up with me. So, one, I reference YouTube, my YouTube page, definitely go there, subscribe. Just go to YouTube, type in Shelly Shelton. I tell people all the time, I'm the other chick because there's another chick that pops up. She does not look like me. I am not holding rifles like anything like that. Like, no, that's not me. So go to YouTube, type in Shelly Shelton. So please check me out there. Also, my Instagram. Now, Chandler has his own Instagram, y'all. So please check him out at Adventures of Chandler. So he has his own Instagram. Please support me out there. I have another Instagram. I have so many handles. I_am_Shelly_Shelton. Okay. I am Shelly Shelton. So check me out on the gram. In addition, there's Shelton Home Staging, and there's TLC Recruiting Academy. So check all that out. It's TLC Recruiting that's on Instagram. And then of course I am on TikTok. Do not forget me on TikTok. That's Unstoppable UNIV on TikTok. TikTok is the new thing. You've got to be on it.
I
Unless
know.
you're
I
on
gotta
a
get.
block
I gotta
somewhere.
get on that. I gotta
What?
get on
God,
there.
you ain't on
You just.
TikTok yet.
So I'm on. So I'm not on it personally, but I on like my kids at work TikTok. They always seem to get me in the hallway on their TikTok when they're yeah. So I'm on it unofficially, but I'm writing down my notes to join tonight because of you,
Go
Shelly.
on
Like I
TikTok.
got to do it.
You're on TikTok. And then, of course, I'm on Facebook. So I started everything on Facebook. So you can go to I am Shelly Shelton. There's a whole story too behind the reason why my business started out being called I am Shelly Shelton.
Okay, so
And,
okay, we got time.
we
We
got
got
time.
time. We got time. We got time. No,
So
but no, because this may be what somebody needs to hit. Like I never want to miss a moment. We got
yeah.
time. We got time.
Yeah, yeah. As I was going through that pain that I've been talking to y'all about, as I was going through that pain, I was on the floor. I was in tears. And I said, God, what is it that you want me to do now? And he said, well, when you were 8 years old, what were you called? And I said, at 8, I was Shelly Shelton. Now, Shelly is my nickname. Okay. And so when you were 8, what did people call you? And say, call me Shelly Shelton. And said, well, okay, well, what else happened at 8? I said, well, you know what? My third grade teacher told me that I would be a motivational speaker. She said that she spoke it into existence. So be mindful of people speaking things over your life. My third grade teacher spoke it into existence. She said, I think you can be a motivational speaker. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. And so I said, okay. And so I heard the Holy Spirit say, well, I need for you to start a business. And I was like, start a business. What am I going to call it? And he said, well, I heard the Lord say, well, what is my name? And I said, your name is Jesus. He said, what's my other name? I said, the great I am. And he said, well, the beginning of your business will start with my name. It will be I am. And I said, well, what will be the end? And he said, well, that's when he said, well, what did we call you when you were 8 years old? And I said, Shelly Shelton. And so my business became I am Shelly Shelton from that very moment. So that's the whole reason why it was called I am, because the Lord told me that Every morning that I get up, I got to always think about him first. And when I think about him, I hear the words, I am the great I am. So there you have it. I am Shelly Shelton became in existence as a business. And the goal is to impact the world, men, women, children, impact the world and let them know to never, ever give up. Never, ever give up. I'll share this with you real quick. My favorite scripture is Luke 137. Luke 137, which reads, For with God nothing is impossible. Nothing. And that's going to register into somebody's spirit tonight. For with God, nothing is impossible. So if you think that you are down in the dumps, if you think you're going through some storms, if you think that you're going through some mess, I'm sure you're going through it, but let me let you know, for with God, nothing is impossible. You can get through it. You can smile through it. You can laugh, jump in jacks. You can do whatever you need to do. But I need for you to understand that for with God, nothing is impossible. So that's what I've got.
Well, I was getting ready to say before we got off to pour, but she just poured it. So no, you somebody like you said, somebody needed it. And when you're connected, that's why I said we got time. Somebody needed that.
There's
May the
one more
Lord
thing I need
watch.
to say. One more thing. You asked me
You
one more
good.
question in that, and I didn't say. I'm sorry. You were asking me about what's next. So these books are coming. That's what's next. There are going to be some bundles. There's going to be some $47 specials coming. There are going to be some specials coming with the traveling prayer shawls. People have been asking me, do I have these shawls? Absolutely. So you will see these prayer blankets. And so there's some stuff that's coming to help impact you. There's already 15 other books that have been written. I'm just waiting for the editor to just go straight through them and just edit them on up, and let's just get them out to the world. But yeah, and then of course divorce recovery coaching, all the specials that I have, and I'm just incredibly blessed. I'm thankful. I'm thankful because I still work a full-time job. I'm still on the grind. I'm still doing my stuff on the side. Life is good. Life is good. God is good, and the girl grinds. Can I just say that?
You left out one thing, and I don't want you to cut yourself short. She didn't want to tell you about the podcast, but I'm gonna just throw it out there. So she got a podcast too, y'all. So yeah, while she listened to all the other stuff. I told y'all I did my homework. She's grinding. She is out here grinding, surviving, and thriving in a pandemic, y'all. This has been an amazing episode tonight with I am Shelly Shelton joining me on Dialogues with Doc. I hope that someone watching right now is able to take in all the greatness that she dropped on tonight's show. It may not be for you, but forward it to someone else that may be going through something or that needs some insight or some support as well. Follow her, buy every book about Chandler, buy the Smile book, Unstoppable Universities out there. She has it going on, y'all. I am so amazing and so psyched to have had Shelly Shelton joining me tonight. This has been this week's edition of Dialogues with Doc. I will see you all next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love you guys. Shelly, hold tight for me. Don't log out yet, okay?
Okay.
Where's my...